Hi there, I'm Holly McDonald with the Costa Mesa Pod, where we discuss all things concerning the lifestyle, businesses, and activities that make Costa Mesa such a great place to live. Today I'm with Alia and Barbara at Bob White's Karate Studio, which is a long-standing place here in Costa Mesa. Thank you for being here, ladies.
Thank you for coming to the studio and inviting us.
Yes, well, I've driven by this place a million times. Tell me a little bit about the background of the Karate Studio.
Well, the studio, it was founded by my now deceased husband, Bob White, and he's done karate his entire life. And it was his passion of his, and he's first the studio started out in Garden Grove and eventually moved over to where the fermentation farm is and is now here. Alia grew up in the karate studio and in one of the back rooms there in a little bassinet. And we were originally known as a fighting school,
Okay.
and was centered on tournaments and fighting. And Bob was very well known and is very well known in the martial arts community, not only here in Orange County and California, but throughout the world.
So you have been in Costa Mesa with the studio, was it since the 1980s?
1980.
That's a long time. And so currently you're in Westside Costa Mesa, right over by the border of Huntington Beach, which is a great location. Tell me a little bit about Bob's history, because I read he's a 10th degree black belt. Is that right? I didn't even know they went up that high. Tell me a little bit more about his history and everything.
So he started as a teenager. He was always heavily involved in sports, specifically baseball. So when he started with Shotokan initially, and then ended up finding a school in Garden Grove, which was Kenpo, which is Ed Parker Kenpo. He was at a kind of a crossroads in terms of pursuing a baseball career or a martial arts career, and he happened to break his leg in a karate tournament, and so he missed the tryouts for the Angels, and it kind of determined his path in life. So here we are.
Yeah, and that's amazing how that worked out, because you guys have had quite the run here in our area, and you're very well known.
And he is really, it's like I was saying, I'm a hairstylist still in the daytime. Mrs. White is a nurse. He was a full-time karate instructor for 50 years, which is this was his main passion, his main purpose. So here we are to get to honor that legacy, which is very exciting.
That is so nice.
Yeah.
And then your family is now continuing to run the studio. And tell me a little bit more about the legacy here with some of the families. You were mentioning that some of them have gone here and now their children go here.
We
And grandchildren.
Yes, we have multi-generational. So I am a second generation black belt. My daughters are third generation. We have one set where we have Mrs. Ramirez, who is a fourth degree black belt. Her daughter is a second degree black belt, Teresa, and then Alia just tested today for her purple belt. So it's just, that's, as I was mentioning earlier, is it's truly a family place where you can train with your children and teach what you know and share your knowledge down. That's one thing about passing on this legacy, that it's sharing our knowledge.
I love that. I know before we were talking a little bit about how this is a sport, a hobby that you can do with your children too. So that's pretty unusual.
Yes.
It's
You,
really,
you can do it for the rest of your life.
yeah.
You don't have to have age. That age does not prohibit doing martial arts at all. So
Yeah.
we have people that are in their 70s
Oh, wow.
who are still training under martial arts, and they're good martial artists.
That's amazing. What are some of the added benefits you get from martial arts that you would say are really helpful for people to learn?
We just had a group test,
Mhm.
and this is the first time that we decided to do a group test for children. We're going to continue doing that.
Okay.
And so what this group test did is allow the kids to bring out the things that they're already learning, and that's confidence, discipline, focus, and poise. And they now have an opportunity to do that in more of a setting where there's more pressure. And so they have the opportunity to perform under pressure. Throughout life, you're going to have that as you grow. We all are in situations where
Yeah.
and so they have a chance to develop their characters so that when they become adults, they're successful adults.
I love that. I mean, I have two kids myself now that are 4 and 6. I'm realizing more and more the importance and the value of sports and all of those things in building up, your character, your focus, all of those things. I never really thought about it in that way, but I can see how that would definitely be helpful.
We're teaching self-defense.
Yeah.
So that's our goal is to teach them self-defense and how to defend yourself, and have the skill set that you have confidence in your palm strikes and elbows and things of that nature, and they may not know they're learning self-defense necessarily, but they are. But what they're really learning also is character development, and that's what a lot of parents want to see.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And so now you mentioned before that you guys are kind of well known and famous for a specific move. What is that one?
Our left hand body punch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
So when we revert back to our fighting school days, or what we were known for, we were big. Most people, I'm even goofy foot when I snowboard.
Oh,
Because I punch with my left hand. I open jars with my left hand, but I do hold that from being here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of that rubbed off on you.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
We still fight right foot forward.
Okay.
And we have the left hand body punch.
Yes.
So that will always stay with us forever.
Yes.
Awesome. I love that. What sort of differentiates your studio from other karate studios in the area, would you say?
I'd say mostly our family environment. We have a community that you had the opportunity to meet with coming in that I've known my entire life, and I think it's a place that's kind of home base for people. People stop in who haven't been here in years just to come in and see everybody. We've had the same the longevity of instructors that have stayed throughout the years. So I really do feel like our family dynamic is a strong community.
Yeah, that's nice.
And I think that is what sets us apart, and not to mention our years of standing in terms of continuing to grow and share our knowledge.
Yeah. Well, and Costa Mesa does have a lot of different, gyms and studios and activities that you can partake in, but it's very rare to see ones that have been around for as long as this place has been. I mean, over 40 years.
Bob had a lot of charisma. I think that he's probably, was probably the best coach I've ever seen, and then Coach Bender. He's had a lot of charisma, and I mean, it was attraction.
Yeah.
People were attracted to him into the studio, and
He remembered everybody.
That's
I mean,
It's a lot,
everybody,
yeah.
students from when kids, if they would come in, he would remember their names, the parents' names. Quite a personal relationship.
He had a gift.
Yeah.
It was a gift, and not too many people have that, but he did. And so through that, he really created a strong sense of loyalty and friendship with people. And so we're very fortunate. We're grateful for what he left behind for us, because it is family.
That's so sweet. So your school specializes in Kenpo. What exactly is that?
Well, Kenpo, you can sum it up as the original mixed martial arts system. We're an eclectic system, and so what that means is that we use parts of every system that there is out there into more of a mixed martial arts. We have the linear system, which is the Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of our movements are linear based. We have circular based movements. That's taken off with the Chinese. We have the Korean movements. A lot of kicks. That's based on the Korean system. We have locks and throws and falls, and that's based off of the jiu-jitsu system.
Okay.
So it's more kind of we have bone breaking, that's a luau. So you see, so when we have somebody come over from another system and they've studied, say, the Chinese system or the Japanese system, they'll be able to recognize some of the things that we do because they are taken from that system. So it's kind of the best of all worlds.
Okay, kind of a melting pot.
Yes.
Okay. I did see that Bob was involved in the Karate Kid movie.
Yes. Yes, so the original Karate Kid was the tournament scene at the end was an actual tournament at a high school gymnasium.
Oh.
So we had students participate in the tournament as well, in addition to my dad being one of the referees that you see numerous time in the You're the Best montage. Like if you look on the end, you can see Mr. White.
Oh my gosh.
And I always say like my 2 seconds was me like my head running
Okay.
in the back.
A good excuse to rewatch a classic.
Yes, and we were involved in the third movie as well, but that was actually at Burbank Studios, filmed in an actual stage.
Oh my god.
Yes.
In the original Karate Kid movie, the trophies were actual TV sets.
Okay.
And so Bob would always say, you see these kids walking out with 2 or 3 TV sets. And what that did, though, is it really promoted martial arts. And so then it was like kind of a kickoff point, and the studios got to be built up and get very busy.
He traveled to promote the
to the
Karate
East
Kid
Coast,
movie. Yes.
Florida and the East Coast.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was probably like the boom, the heyday when stuff really put you guys on the map.
Yes.
So that's amazing. I'm curious what sort of future events or anything coming up that you would like to share with the community.
So we have our women's self-defense class. Our next one scheduled on September 21st, which is a Sunday. We were actually featured a couple years ago for Women's History Month on CBS KCAL 9 News. So Mrs. White was featured because she's also a nurse and you would not know, no matter how great of shape I've ever been in, Mrs. White will always be in better shape. So, I've never been able to keep up with her, but we have a great team. There's about 5 of us. The 2 of us, we got Mrs. McClure, Ms. Gibson, Katie, Ms. Davis. So we have a great women's group, and we all come together and do this wonderful class about every quarter.
You know what's so cool is that we have such a great group that does it because we have such fun while we do it.
Nice.
And so
We really enjoy
we
it.
love it.
Yeah.
And so what's really cool is that you'll have some people walk and they never hit a bag, they never done pump, they never key-eyed. I mean, this is just brand new, and they leave and they're like, it's deafening in there, the excitement, the key-eyes, the palm strikes, the elbows, the spinning moves, just it creates such an excitement and an empowering feeling. So we all walk out really high because it's been the funnest day in the world. And so the classes are just the fun for us, and so
it sounds contagious, and I've always wanted to do one. So I'll be looking at the time for that.
You'll be
basically they're introductory courses to self-defense, but we also talk about awareness and attitude and trusting your gut and acting on your intuition. So we cover all these areas as well. So we kind of encompass all aspects.
Reminders.
We were talking before about how you've done them for realtors too. So obviously being a realtor, it can be a little bit, you got to be very careful, and self-defense is definitely a skill that is useful, especially for women. So
and
get a group together.
Yes, and I wholeheartedly believe that every woman, at least a course, some introduction, just to be able to have, because we always tell our students all the techniques or everything are just tools in our tool chest that we have, and that they're in us to, if we ever need, and hopefully we never do, need to use them.
And also you were mentioning the PTAs.
Yes.
What's going on there?
So I personally am very involved in my children's PTA in the Fullerton School District. Locally, we are now a community partner with 4th District PTA, which is all of Orange County in Southeast Los Angeles. So we would really like to get more involved in our local PTA community, including in Huntington Beach. We do offer, we give back 15% to your PTA. In addition, we're running a special that moms get to come into our, Mrs. White runs a Tuesday only, women's only class. We would love to have full of moms getting away from the hustle and bustle of being at home every night. It's usually dinner time, so I know it's a hard time, but it's a nice time to be able to come and celebrate you.
That's awesome. That's great.
So the 15% would be if a child came over from the school, and we would, the first month tuition that they would enroll in, we get 15% for that first month.
That's great. Yeah, that's really helpful for the school.
And then the moms can come in a Tuesday class, which is really nice.
That's Okay, so that's a real find. So we'll make sure to promote that so everybody knows about it. And I'm sure the PTAs would love to hear about that too. So get it on everybody's radar.
Perfect.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for sharing more. Like I said, I've driven by your studio a million times, known that you've been a staple in the community for a long time, but it's so great to hear more of the personal story of your family and what it means to you and how you want to contribute and give back to the community.
And there's one thing that I failed to mention, or we failed to mention, in terms of giving back to the community. We have raised, we do a yearly fundraiser for the Royal Family Kids Camp. And so we've raised over $1 million over the years. And Mrs. White's a nurse who goes every year for that week that helps the kids with. So that's a big, huge event that we've done.
The Royal Families is an organization in which they reach the kids that have been moved from their homes or are in the social service system, group homes, foster home kids, and they each church puts it on their own. It's a worldwide organization,
Okay.
and it's for the purpose of putting on a week-long summer camp. And at this summer camp, these kids have the opportunity to have a birthday, which a lot of them never do, and all of these activities at this camp. And so it's a special place in our hearts. And so every year we do seminars or a tournament, and that's kind of the origin of the camp. Originally, we went up there to do a demonstration at the camp.
Yeah.
And then from there, everything started growing from there, and then I was asked to be a nurse up there and so a nurse. And
Wow. That's amazing.
anyway, 17 years later, we're here.
Yeah.
Still going strong. So we've had tournaments, we've had seminars, banquets, we've had golf tournaments. And so this coming year, we'll have something again, usually in March.
Okay. Okay. Well, I love all of the legacy behind your studio and your mission and just contributing.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
And hopefully you'll be coming on Tuesdays.
Tuesdays and for the September 21st. Is
Yes,
that it?
yes.
Okay, yeah, it's on my calendar.
Yes, wonderful.
Thank you for taking your time to come to visit us. And
Thank you.
You're welcome. This is an open door.
Yes.
You walk right through it.